1. Understanding asynchronous JavaScript. JavaScript is single-threaded, but async operations, like API calls, file reading, or timers, allow non-blocking execution. JavaScript. Sa chep ma. Const fetch with timeout equals URL. Timeout equals 5000 equals. Const fetch promise equals fetch URL. Const timeout promise equals new promise underscore. Reject equals set timeout equals reject new error request timed out. Timeout. Return promise. Race fetch promise. Timeout promise. Async equals try. Const response equals await fetch with timeout. https://json placeholder. Typicode. com/posts. 3000. Const data equals await response. JSON. Console. Log data. Catch error. Console. Error. Message. 10. Promise. Any first success. Promise. Any resolves as soon as one promise fulfills, ignores rejections. JavaScript. Sa chep ma. Const fetch first equals async equals const URLs equals https://json placeholder. Typicode. com/posts. https://json placeholder. Typicode. com/comments. https://invalid-url. com. Try. Const result equals await promise. Any URLs. Map URL equals fetch URL. Then res equals res. JSON. Console. Log first success. Result. Catch error. Console. Error all failed. Error. Fetch first. 11. Promise. All settled. Promise. All settled waits for all promises to settle, resolve or reject. Returns an array of results. JavaScript. Sa chep ma. Const fetch all equals async equals const URLs equals https://json placeholder. Typicode. com/posts. https://invalid-url. com. Const results equals await promise. All settled URLs. Map URL equals fetch URL. Results. For each result equals if result. Status equals fulfilled. Console. Log success. Result. Value. Else. Console. Error failed. Result. Reason. Fetch all. 12. Chaining async functions. JavaScript. Sa chep ma. Async function step 1. Console. Log step 1. Return data from step 1. Async function step 2. Prev data. Console. Log step 2. Received. Prev data. Return data from step 2. Async function step 3. Prev data. Console. Log step 3. Received. Prev data. Return data from step 3. Async function process steps. Const data 1 equals await step 1. Const data 2 equals await step 2, data 1. Const data 3 equals await step 3, data 2. Console. Log final result. Data 3. Process steps. 13. Looping with async/await. Use 4 of loops to handle async operations sequentially. JavaScript. Sa chep ma. Const URLs equals https://json placeholder. Typicode. com/post/1 foot. https://json placeholder. Typicode. com/post/2 foot. Async function fetch sequentially. 4. Const URL of URLs. Const response equals await fetch URL. Const data equals await response. JSON. Console. Log data. Fetch sequentially. 14. Batching with limited concurrency. Control how many async calls happen in parallel to avoid overloading servers. JavaScript. Sa chep ma. Const limited parallel fetch equals async URLs. Limit equals const results equals const executing equals 4. Const URL of URLs. Const promise equals fetch URL. Then res equals res. JSON. Results. Push promise. If limit equals URLs. Length. Const e equals promise. Then equals executing. Splice executing. Index of e. 1. Executing. push E. If, executing. Length equals limit, await promise. Race, executing. Return promise. All, results. Limited parallel fetch, URLs. 2. Then, console. Log. 15. Async generators. Process async data streams using for await. Of. JavaScript. Saw check ma. Async function asterisk fetch pages. Let page equals 1. While, page equals 3. Const res equals await fetch, https, / John placeholder. Typicode, com/posts, underscore page equals $page. Const data equals await res, JSON. Yield data. Page ++. Async equals, for await, const page of fetch pages, console, log, page. 16. Canceling async operations, abort controller. Use abort controller to cancel fetch requests. JavaScript. Saw check ma. Const controller equals new abort controller. Const signal equals controller. Signal. Set timeout equals controller. Abort. 2000 / cancel after 2 seconds. Fetch. https / JSON placeholder. Typicode. com/posts. Signal. Then, res equals res. JSON. Then, console. Log. Catch. Error equals console. Error, fetch aborted. Error. 17. Debouncing asynchronous calls. Prevent rapid function calls by delaying execution. JavaScript. Saw check ma. Const debounce equals, func. Delay equals, let timeout. Return. Args equals, clear timeout, timeout. Timeout equals set timeout equals func. Args, delay.